thank you so much, firstly, before we even go into the interview, for joining us today and for allowing for us to have the opportunity to talk to you about your business and to just get to know you a bit better. We really appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to this session. I've been very excited about it since this day began. So, so tell us a bit about yourself as Faith Sekhu, about yourself and about your company. We just want to know you a bit better.
Okay. Basically, yeah, my name is Faith Sekhu, but the name that basically my parents gave me is Sbongile. Yes, Sbongile. And later, when life yeah, gave me some interesting um, what do I call this? An experience. After a very interesting experience in my life, my dad then gave me Faith. So basically, this is Faith talking to you, a woman of faith. So literally, I live by faith. Everything, yeah, I do it by faith. And yes, and I'm a fourth child from my family. I'm basically a daddy's little girl, even now, and and I've got a wonderful daughter who was born 9 years ago. So this year she'll be turning 10, and her name is Halalelo. And yeah, so I'm a very passionate person, naturally, lots of energy, and and I also consider myself a leader, and and then I'm an entrepreneur, very much an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur, even while growing up. So the entrepreneurial spirit in me has always been there. I've always been selling something, and yeah. So basically, that's just me, and I'm a certified John Maxwell speaker and teacher as well. Yes, I did the leadership program in 2017. And yeah, so that is just basically in a nutshell, that's who I am. And maybe also just to add, in fact, I should have started there. I am a child of a living God. And yeah, that's basically just who I am. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. And yeah, we have so much in common because I'm also a woman of faith and a child of God myself. So it's always amazing to meet another fellow child of God. Thank you so
Yes.
much for sharing that about you. So you sound like a very inspiring woman, an admirable woman. So I'm happy to hear that. And so we just want to know a bit more about your company as well. So
Yes.
what inspired you to start this kind of business? Yeah.
You know what? When I started this business, I started it basically back in 2007. I partnered with someone who had already started the business, and she was already offering the services of basically, being a support structure, a service provider, for corporate clients, increasing well-being and productivity. So I started, yeah. So I joined her 6 months later when she started the business. So and then when we parted ways, 2009, I then changed the name, and then I changed it to Zuri. Okay, Zuri Wellness. So yeah, so for me, the name it's a name. It's a Swahili word, which means I'm beautiful and I'm well. Okay, so I thought, because strategically our business was started based on that, making people to feel well, excited, and yeah, and I think with the whole plan, I later discovered myself in the journey of being an entrepreneur. So yeah, so I've been in business in this industry, the wellness industry, since 2007. Then something very interesting happened last year to all of us. So there was a an unpleasant interruption, and we find ourselves where we are today. So unfortunately, we are not able to continue to trade right now the way we've been trading, because mainly our client is corporate clients. So it meant, because everyone is working remotely, it meant our business had to shut down. So then I then had to pivot, my business, and also to say, okay, what are the things that resonate with me? What is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I can still offer, within Zuri Wellness umbrella? So yeah, so now I'm really changing the way we engage with our community that we have established over the years. So I'm bringing in the inspirational speaker, inspirational coach services, because a lot of people right now, COVID has really interrupted a lot of our plans, and a lot of things meant they had to be shifted. We had to adjust ourselves accordingly. So yeah, so I'm pivoting in that way. And recently I have been given an opportunity to be able to share and connect, and even with a bigger and a broader community online. So I've been given an opportunity to work for a community radio station. So I have a slot every Monday, and it's called Healing the Nation of Africa. So basically, with that slot, the objective is to really inspire and provoke a lot of our people, especially in South Africa and also in Africa and other nations, because online you are able to reach everyone globally. So yeah, so I do that every Monday for an hour to inspire people, to get people to think differently about their lives, and maybe to start thinking differently on how they can embrace the new normal that we've been introduced to. So yeah, that's basically what I do now. So yeah, so we are no longer touching people, but we are touching people at an emotional level.
Wow, that sounds interesting. I did have a question here where I wanted to ask you about what inspired the name Zuri. So I'm
Yeah,
glad that you've already touched on it. And
yeah.
so what does this mean now in terms of how you offer your services? Since you kind of pivoted or shifted the way that you do business because of how COVID has affected you. So what are your services currently that you are offering under these circumstances?
Yes. Look, I think it just goes back to one understanding why one is an entrepreneur. I believe as entrepreneurs, we are truly blessed and privileged um, to be actively participating in bringing hope, to our communities, and go into the marketplace and be able to have these interactions with people in the marketplace. So for me, it's the beginning, and also I think it's the continuation, but now I'm doing it intentionally, because I previously I did start, I used to have events, even when we were still operating on the ground. We used to have events, and we would have like themes where we are celebrating Women's Month, and we would have a theme, and then we get as many people to sign up. buy vouchers, bring in speakers, come in, let's talk about the issues that affect us as women, as mankind. So for me, this is just I don't know how to call it. It's somehow this season has helped me to remodel myself and to be intentional about using the gift that I have, So I mean, I've seen how other people have been affected by this, and then they keep insisting on doing business the way we used to. Unfortunately, circumstances don't allow us, especially when we have to consider us, adhering to the COVID-19 protocols and all that, So, but for me, I saw a great opportunity to say, look, I have so many gifts, one just needs to tap in and say, what else can I do, but still be able to engage with people. So it's a beginning. I am not yet charging anything for now, because I'm setting basically the tone and create the demand, especially, and already people are starting to ask, to say, do you offer workshops? Can you do seminars? Can you hold summits? And I'm like, you see. So for me, I felt it was important for me to sow that seed first, instead of insisting to say people must buy into what I'm saying. So I'm really humbled to see how people have been engaged in my content. And so basically it means with time, then I would then have to start, seeing the business side of the services that I'm offering.
Wow, I find that very interesting, because we are in a season really where a lot of people find themselves under extreme anxiety and stress, particularly entrepreneurs, and they don't really have platforms where they can talk about how they feel, or even where they can be counseled and, guided in terms of how to recover, how to really be in a better space mentally as well as physically in this season and circumstances that I'm currently facing, which were really leading me to something you've just touched on now, which is going to be my next question. In terms of, does this mean that there has been like an increased demand of wellness services because of the effects that COVID-19 has had on people as well as entrepreneurs?
Yes, I mean, I always say, when you understand how the spirit realm operates and how you can transact in the spirit realm and bring things and bring simplicity on the physical realm. For me, everyone keeps saying, but why are you always so full of energy? Has COVID-19 affected you in some way? You just don't look like you are. I said, it has actually impacted me, and it has impacted me in such a way that I then want to really go out and say, hey, I have been in a lockdown longer than other people, because a lot of people who have had experiences in their lives, they've been on lockdown. It's just that we just didn't know how to term it. So, I mean, something very significant happened in my life. One event happened in my life that made me to start questioning, inquiring, especially to, with God, make these inquiries as to say, okay, so this has happened in my life. So basically, 10 years ago, later this year would be basically 10 years ago when I lost my late husband. And the same year I gave birth to our little daughter. So the things that happened to me, and this was literally 3 years after we were married. And look, I had a beautiful marriage, okay? So throughout the journey, there have been a lot of questions and uncertainty, anxiety, and I felt like I saw myself almost like, allowing myself to go into that depression mode, but I think, the Lord, because I've been able, that is just the source of hope that I have. So I've learned to build myself, the inner me, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially, because everything starts in the spirit realm, spiritually, before it can be, tangible on the ground. So for me, I just felt, I saw everyone collapsing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this has happened at an appointed time, because I'm able to come in and be that voice that will be that beacon of hope for people to say, no, we will come out from this season bigger, better, and stronger. All we need to do is to, you know, allow the whole process, the waiting process. Don't get anxious for anything. We just need to allow this season to pass, because it will pass, and how, when, we don't know. So yeah, so for me, I think, I'm excited about that, because literally every day I talk about healing, 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 and yeah, healing of the soul, healing of your mind, healing physically, and healing financially. I mean, COVID has really affected us financially. So we basically then it means we need to find other ways of saying, okay, what's the strategy now when we come out of this place in this season? How are we going to rebuild and reconstruct our finances, so that we continue to live this life and continue to enjoy this life that we are meant to enjoy anyway.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, such an inspiring story of restoration that you are sharing, and I feel like your story, your voice is really relevant for such a time as this. And I'm so glad that the Lord is really raising you up during this season, because a lot of people are in need of your services. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty exciting to even have the opportunity to speak to you and be a part of what I see that the Lord is doing. So thank you so much for sharing that story with us. We really appreciate it. And so just going to my next question, what really drives your passion for entrepreneurship as an individual? Because yes, we hear that you have this gift and you have this passion and this particular calling towards healing. And so then how does this gift of that gift that you have really drive the passion for you to be able to see, okay, I see a need and I have this gift, and this is how I see myself offering this gift to in order to meet this need that people have in society.
Yeah. So, I mean, while we are all in anticipation of when is this season going to pass, I then position myself and I say, okay, I'm repositioning myself to really, when I went back to the vision of Zuri Wellness, is to be basically, when we refined our vision, the vision is to be the leading global wellness authority, creating organizational and social wellness. So for me, when it was refined in 2016, when I started sharing it with people, everyone was like, really? Really? Global authority, Faith, like we are just too ambitious. But now I find myself, I'm in a global stage right now. So it's just so it's a perfect timing for, so it just means we need to have the right perspective to understand the season, so that you continue to do business, because there are so many business opportunities. COVID-19 and the lockdown, it came wrapped with so many opportunities. All that we need to do is to just sit and see and see the potential that we as individuals have. So business is continuing. I mean, someone always, one of my former accountants said, you know, while you complain, someone is invoicing, you know. So yeah, so other people, depending on which industry you find yourself in, other people, they're making millions and billions, you know. And even with the platform that we're sitting on right now, you know, it may have not have made sense for us to be connecting the way that we are to you know, a few years ago, but now it's the new normal. You know, we are still able to connect and engage each other and do business that will, you know, make us to grow and grow our businesses, you know. So the whole yeah, this whole opportunity for me, it's like, let's do business, let's do business, let's continue to do business. Business has not stopped. We are continuing to do business. So I'm just loving it. Yeah. And yeah, I'm not sure if I've answered your question.
Yes, you have.
Yes.
Definitely. I love that this quote, the story that you're sharing now, that while you're busy complaining, others are submitting
Yes. So we
invoices.
need to stop complaining.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. A change of mindset is needed,
Change
or
of mindset.
even how we perceive things. It's
Yes.
really needed. It's really needed. So thank you so much.
And also just to add on something, and is to also just to learn from what other people have done. And I mean, I see how our continent in Africa, it has been affected, and we see, I mean, there's a lot of, we are a wounded a continent, you know, based on our past. You know, we are a wounded people, broken, very angry. But this opportunity basically of being part of there's also a campaign that I'm also part of, which is called the Healing Campaign, by the way. And it's led by Chief Justice Mogoeng and Apostle Linda. So basically there we pray for spiritual needs of Africa and also for all nations, you know. So for me, I just see how we can do so much, and this affords Africa to really arise and say, okay, this is where we are. We had problems prior to the COVID-19 and lockdown, but how do we come out of it? And we come out actively, all of us, every African soul becomes actively participating in rebuilding this continent. So it means as entrepreneurs, we need to then use this platform, this opportunity that we have, and align our businesses accordingly so that we can meet the need, you know, not just focus only on the you know, money, you know, to say, okay, the bottom line is, yes, we will make money, obviously. That is not even going to be difficult, but it means you then need to know how to align your business, take your business and say, how can I align it so that it is still relevant even in this season, in this era that we are in, you know, instead of insisting on doing the old way of doing, because the business that we were running pre-COVID doesn't exist anymore. Whether we like to admit it or not, it doesn't exist. So we need to reposition ourselves and align our businesses and still be relevant. Yeah, basically.
I absolutely agree. And something that I always say is that if we are going to make a global dent in the economy or in the global world, we need to start thinking more about how to offer value instead of running after just money. because when we then offer value, money is attracted to the value that we will be offering as Africans. So yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. If only we would start thinking differently and start thinking, how can I offer value within the wellness space? How can I offer value within the media space? And then money will be attracted to the value that we offer, because the reason why Zoom and Facebook is they are making global dent in the global world is because of the value that they're offering. Imagine I'm able to
Yes.
connect with you on
Yes.
Zoom, and you're probably not even in the same province that I'm in, and we are able to have a
Yes.
conversation like this. So it's the value driven mentality that we really need in Africa. And so I really agree with that. Can you tell us a bit more about your Zuri fragrance product?
Yes, basically this beautiful product range that we launched in 2016. Basically, it was immediately after we had refined our vision. Yes, Zuri Wellness. So what we then thought, you know what, I could then, part of me wanting to, increase, and encourage people with the stories that I write. And I thought I could use a smell so that I can get people to, silence their auditory senses, but, to just, open up this sense of smell that will basically just impact, the globe. So for me, yeah, so I use this beautiful fragrant. We've got room diffusers, we've got um, um, foot soak, body creams. We've got room sprays as well. So yeah, so this is just to say, when you have the Zuri fragrance in your home or in your office, it should really spark that spirit that says, I want to be a beautiful person. I need to be kind, because with the stories that I share, they are basically provoking each and every person to say, can you become a person of influence? Become a person who is more compassionate, more kind, kinder, show lots of love, express that love. So yeah, so when you have our fragrant, that is what will remind you of the story plus the scent. So yeah, so I find that people do choose a story based on that, they choose a scent based on the story that is associated with that scent. So yeah, so it was just me playing around with getting as many people as we can, inviting as many people as we can to be intentional about being loving. Yeah.
Wow, sounds great. And where can we find it if you want to buy it? For example, how do we get in touch with you if we want to buy your products?
Yes, you can get hold of us on you can find it on Facebook, and the I Am Zuri Wellness on Facebook. So basically, it's linked to our WhatsApp business, and also we people can also call in the sorry, I have to remind myself of this number. You know what? After I had my daughter, your numbers, I don't, yeah, I can't remember, especially telephone numbers, you know. So people can place an order on this number 079 761 7919. Yeah, 079 761 7919, so they can place their order from there, and they can, yeah, connect with us.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So my next question is around where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
you know what? I see myself as the leading global authority in the wellness space. I see myself as that voice that will increase the level of passion and commitment to mankind so that all of us can, sit together and rebuild our lives. And I use that, and I am putting myself out there to say, I am putting my hand, I'm available, I'll be that voice that will talk about love, because I believe I launched the campaign, the love hashtag love never fails, with the same idea in mind to say, I know we've been doing business focusing on money, but we haven't actually considered how we can, we need to rethink and reconsider how we can use the heart, to and make love be the currency that will rebuild and reshape and reconstruct our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are using love because I believe if we can put love on the table when we make decisions as leaders, then it means everybody's going to benefit. And unlike putting people on the table so that we can benefit ourselves. So if we can use love as the currency to rebuild ourselves post COVID-19.
Wow.
So I see myself, yeah, I see myself as that voice that will increase the passion, that commitment, that everyone will just roll up their sleeves and say, you know what, I am committing to be that person who will be actively participating in rebuilding their own nations, and be it your family, rebuilding, healing your communities, nations, basically. Yeah. So we, because wellness is big and it's broad and it's deep, so the way I was doing business in the wellness industry, I think now it was a shallow way of looking at wellness.
Mm.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
wow.
I see myself as that global authority, that that thought leader around wellness. Yes, and basically with the experience that I've gained, I'm not only going to theorize. No, I'm going to use the experience. I'm going to use what I have learned as a person to say, if I could survive, it means anyone can survive whatever, challenge that you are faced with. So if we can survive this storm that we are currently in, we can do anything.
Oh, wow, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing. So as we draw near towards the end of our session, before I give you just the opportunity to share your closing remarks, what I would like you to share with us and everyone who will be watching this interview is, where can we find you if we are looking for your services? How can we connect with you, and all of those details?
Okay, you can get hold of me. We have on social media, Instagram. I am Zuri Wellness, and it's interesting how I even came up with that name. I didn't even think that I would end up using myself as, that voice. So yeah, so I am Zuri Wellness, and it's one word. So both Instagram and Facebook, and then people can also, we still gonna try to refine, relook our website, because now the whole our services have now changed. So yeah, but people can also email me on faith.zuriwellness@gmail.com, or they can email me faith at faith.sekhu at zuriwellness.co.za.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing those details.
Yes.
So I'm just going to give you the opportunity to just share some advice with us fellow entrepreneurs who are running a business in this season, and just your thoughts or anything that comes to your heart that you would just like to pour into the people who will be watching this interview, which includes a lot of entrepreneurs. So yeah, you can just share those closing remarks.
Oh man, truly, I am truly humbled and honored to have been, given this platform, given this opportunity, as a vessel of mercy to come in and speak to um, other entrepreneurs, especially in this era, the season that we are in, is to basically just to say they mustn't even stress, about what has happened. It's just water under the bridge, and we are not in any way downplaying, what has happened. It has affected all of us and in different ways, but let's just reset, reposition ourselves, and know this is a sure thing that we are all going to come out of this season bigger and better and stronger. So yeah, really, this is a great opportunity that you have even you are offering this opportunity to us as entrepreneurs. And as I speak, this is actually even encouraging myself. I'm encouraging myself as I speak to other people, because I know, based on what I have gone through, it's almost a year now, and I know and I feel their heartbeat. But is to really say, hang in there. We are coming out, and it's going to be a showdown. So yeah, just believe, and believe that indeed you were raised for such a season as this, for such a time as this. So yeah,
Wow,
continue
thank you
to
so much.
pray, continue to pray, continue to to believe in that vision. Keep that vision alive. Keep it alive. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Faith, for sharing such encouraging and inspiring words with us. I have definitely learned a lot from this session. I walk away really feeling empowered and encouraged to keep going, to think differently, and to be value driven. And yeah, and I'm so inspired, and I'm sure even when we release this interview session, many others will also be inspired by the words that you have shared with us today, the knowledge, the insight, the wisdom that you have just poured into all of us. So thank you so, so much. I pray that the Lord may continue to bless you, to use you, to inspire, to be that voice for healing in Africa, because I believe that your gifting is so crucial at this moment. And yeah, may God continue to just take you higher and higher, to greater heights and platforms that you did not have not probably even imagined that He will take you to. And yeah, may He continue to just use your life for His glory. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And yeah, we'll connect. We'll speak again soon.
Thank you so much.